then now that we've talked about rotations, maximizing number of pushes.
Don't even need to do the VOD review.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. We're still gonna do it.
Attackers incoming in 30
But yeah, sometimes that happens. You've got a big conceptual question, and now we've answered it, and we get into the gameplay. Now you're going to be able to tell me how it could have been done so much better. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I feel good about this. I mean, I'm waiting with apprehension because I know that this is just going to be awful now. But
For sure. Fine. Okay. So we look at your team composition. You both have Roadhog, so there's no like Zarya dance that you're doing here for energy. It's a little dicey to just be throwing those fire strikes. Like, your upside for a fire strike is like, yes, I have a fire strike. Whereas your downside for a fire strike is like, oh, look, I got hooked and pulled in and just got obliterated. So like, yeah.
it's funny you mentioned that.
Is it now? Is it?
A little bit of foreshadowing, maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember if it's this spot. But...
I'd look at this, and you could try to play to like go, hey, can I go out here? Can I maybe bait a hook onto my shield type thing, and then we push when we have hook advantage? That would be a thing. Otherwise, you could just go, as soon as I'm healed up, we're going to push. All 6 of us are here. We're good to go, and let's maximize the number of pushes.
Got it.
There's the perfect. So like, I want to go right now. They just wasted a major cooldown in hook. You have full health and full shield. You expect your team is caught up with you. Sure enough, they are. Like, yeah, we'd prefer Hanzo was over here ready to challenge, but Genji's doing it. Great. Fantastic. Let's go. Instead, you sort of gave away that opening. And now you don't want to push. Well, yeah. 51 HP swings. Okay. Yeah, so that sort of reaching out there and swinging thing, especially against a hog team, is going to be more something you'd be interested when you have a Zarya. Like, when you don't have this Zarya, you can sort of, until you've baited hook and sort of caught it on your shield, you got to be real careful with this. Like, when you come out here to swing, like, your first instinct is like, where's the hog? Am I ready to reaction shield block this sort of hook?
Yeah, I think I just get ragdolled this by the hog. It's on a, is it 6 or 7 second cooldown, the hook?
Let's show you. I can answer that question, but it's always better to show you. So here we are. Eight seconds there.
Okay.
But when you actually get to when he's, pulled you in there, 7 seconds. So however you want to think about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
And like, again, just to point this out, you had another decent push opportunity. If you're tracking things, you've got another decent push opportunity right here. If you push right now, what's the difference?
We have Valk.
Right, you have Valk advantage. Their Mercy is going to struggle hugely to equalize in this, and really that's the only ult on the board too. Now, I don't expect you to track all of this at all times, but like, hey, the instant your Valk comes up, you guys have kind of been getting shredded a little bit, so there's actually a decent chance that your supports got their ults first, right?
Right.
Okay, good. Okay, so conceptually not terrible. If we look at this, your hog's used his hook, their hog uses their hook, nothing's happened. You guys are actually equal on hooks, but it's still, you're going to get abused less hard if you push in now, so this is a reasonable push timing. Your team should be relatively ready to push, other than Hog, and you're going like this. Now, we're still going to defend even as we push in here. Like, okay, we're still at a health threshold where we're going to have to put our shield up. And, you know, we just kind of get bursted down. And that's life. That happens.
Yeah, I felt like I just got immediately there. I don't know what I could have done to not get deleted there. I wanted to take a swing, and like by the time I was done with my swing, I just got
Yeah, and
vaporized.
sometimes that happens. So what you can do is you can try to judge, okay, we can level this up to another level of, okay, what is the second angle that your team is threatening right now? Or put this another way, all of your team's threats are coming from the exact same direction right now, aren't they?
All of our threats meaning what we're threatening or what's threatening us?
No, well, actually both. But what your team threatens with are the 4 heroes in the center of my screen. Roadhog, Reinhardt, Hanzo, and Genji. Your Mercy is not really going to threaten people directly, and while your Ana could threaten people, she just doesn't have an angle on this map to get threats off, right? Not at this choke point.
Right, sure. Okay,
So
yeah.
the second angle that you'd usually threaten with would be the window over here. The window over here.
Yeah.
You could threaten from up here, that's fine. You can do a little bit of like here versus here with the choke, but primarily this window is your second lane for threatening, and you have 2 people who are both quite capable of threatening from that window. Your Genji could threaten from the window, then get behind and create a third angle, whatever. But like, if you look at this, because all 4 of you are right here when you choose to push, this creates a situation where if all 4 of the people who can actually threaten the enemy team are right here, where are all 6 sets of eyeballs allowed to look?
Okay, gotcha. I understand.
So again, I'm not saying like this is the only thing, but when we talked about, hey, you should consider the opposing Hog's hook, well, you should also consider, do I have someone either threatening or ready to threaten from here? Because if you have someone ready to threaten from here, and you walk out here, even if you're getting abused, well, Hanzo just gets free headshots on people that aren't looking. And if they do break off to pay some attention to him, you don't get just deleted quite as fast. So it's another one of those factors that go into calculating, is this a safe moment to push type thing. And you go for your one swing, and yeah, you just get totally deleted. And that sucks, but hey. Rein swing, Hog right click, Stim, Mercy boost, Bap, it hurts. It's fine, they're throwing a couple ults at it. Okay, we have another good push opportunity here, just how the ults work out. And that you're gonna have Nano Blade and all they've got is Visor.
Yeah, that's why I was feeling like that was essentially the crux of my plan.
Okay. Oh, now we need to back up. Good, our res happens. Okay. Okay. Unfortunate. So I don't have huge objections to this push, to be perfectly honest. This isn't some like, oh, you needed to go do things hugely differently push. I mean, Genji got eliminated while blading, and that's going to happen sometimes. It sucks, but it's just a thing that happens sometimes. And yes, we could talk about, hey, could you have microed this push a little bit better? But it's not really a big deal. This isn't like, if you're looking at this and being like, what was I supposed to do on this push? How were we supposed to win? This was clearly a push to win off of. This could have absolutely been a push to win off of, but the real solution has been in the minutes leading up to here. We could have had a Valk advantage push. We could have had a push when they didn't have hookup. We could have had a, like, it sort of is we gave a lot of time where we're just going back and forth with our not hitting each other with hooks type thing. Like, again, we can micro this, but this isn't the real one. Like, we look at... Sure. Fire strike? No. Okay. And you've lost Genji at this point, so you got this. Okay. be here. Soldier has too good an angle. You still down people for about another second or two. Nice. You're early. Oh, this isn't gonna be a push? Oh, this is sort of gonna be a push. Okay. Widow just popped up, but she's not really gonna have an angle. Okay.
I wasn't even thinking about Shatter. I was just...
Yep.
Oof.
All good.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Probably not going to justify this fire strike. Like, if we look at this, didn't you just get pinned into the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get in there.
It hurts. Yeah. So again, I'm not going to pretend that that isn't frustrating, but it really is just going to come down to you either decide, hey, I think my team is doing okay in the trade, so I'm going to trade when we're ahead. It's just going to mean things like, oh, they wasted their lamp, they wasted their hook, you know, they used these cooldowns and didn't get value, or their shield is weak and ours isn't, or they're low on health and we're pretty good on health. Or my Hanzo has control of window or is about to take control of window, I want to push now type thing. Like things like that. Or my Genji has gone through and circled and now is when I want to push, when we've actually earned a positional advantage type thing. And you want to sort of maximize your number of pushes, or you want to get the maximum number of pushes you can while you've traded for a resource advantage. Those are sort of the two ways to think about it, and it's not quite what happens. All good.
Yeah,
Let's see what happens here. And by see what happens, I saw the game link, so I know.
Yeah, we get cheesed hard.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, you see that DPS lineup?
I do.
I think people at home can guess what happens. I generally like this opening fire strike. I don't know if I'm gonna start getting punished for it at higher ranks, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you can... It's possible to get punished for it, but it's okay. It's pretty good. Yep.
It's the Eric Andre let me in meme.
Okay. So, we're looking at this. Okay. What's the solution here? Like,
I have no idea. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm at a loss.
Okay. So there's two options. The first issue is they do a good job of getting this sim TP down before their comp has been revealed. So no one can press tab to know what their comp is yet. On the other hand, this is a very common strategy that we're somewhat worried about, and you can see the sim right now if you peek, right?
Right.
And you can peek without peeking, right?
Oh, right, the shield. Yeah, okay.
Right. So, like, until the comp is unlocked, because the only time you're really worried about this sim teleport strat is right out the gate. They're not going to go, hey, we're losing, there's a minute left, let's all hard swap, now let's go do the sim teleport strat. That's not what we're worried about. So, like, the moment that you're worried about this is basically right now, so you have to get this information right now. I don't care if you peek, if you go, hey, let me peek now with my shield up for a moment. I don't care if you turn, you know, do shield wrenching mechanics to, like, change the angle of your camera to see past, but like you have a moment to see this. If you see that there's a sim here right now, what can you do?
that was going to be my next question because I've had games on Hanamura where I decide I'm going to walk into their entrance TP and I'm going to
Hmm.
get huge cleaves off as they go to point.
Yep.
And I've had games where I decide I'm going to turn around immediately, charge to point, and swing at them as they exit the TP. And I
Yep.
don't know which is correct because I've won with both
Hmm.
strategies and I've lost with both
Yep,
strategies.
and they're both fine. The truth
Oh,
is,
okay.
you can look at either of those and go, hey, as long as you get here in time and you get massive cleave damage, you probably won't destroy the teleporter in time, but you will get pretty good cleave damage on them. And then it's the sort of situation where you go, hey, I do have a team, and my team realizes what's happening, and my team should be able to get finishes here, be able to get finishes here. Like, there is something going on here. If I chip them down hard, if it turns into just an elimination or two, we should be fine to enter. The other option is if you go, shoot, I'm too late. It's just a little too late. Like, I didn't get to be swinging as they put the TP down. The TP's already down. They're already starting to filter through it. You just go back immediately type thing. So, like, I don't actually have a strong, oh, you have to do it this way every time type thing. I really just needed you
Hmm.
to discover this earlier type thing. Like, yes, it's a
Right.
cheese. Um, Beyond the fact that it's a cheese, someone has to be able to touch, but that doesn't have to be you and wouldn't be expected to be you because you were holding this. You're then going to
Right.
come back and you're going to play with the time that you have to try to work up some sort of lead. You don't have very much because they only need a tick before you commit to taking the point there. Or before you commit to the fight, because you want to work up a little bit of a poke lead without letting their sim ramp up her beam, and then you want to go in. When they only have to take a single tick like this, you basically just have to go hard in from the beginning and probably lose. That's
Right.
just
Yeah.
reality.
And would you
Go ahead.
is it would you recommend against charging to the point or like
Charging to the
walking
point is
backwards
fine.
with shield up?
You're gonna have to
Okay.
get there
All
in a
right.
hurry, especially when they only need one tick. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let's hop over to the other one. Let me take a look. Oh, there we go. Second code. Okay.
Traveling to Hanamura. Ready for battle.
Oh, we're back to Hanamura. Okay. Okay.
Yep. It's the exact same thing happens. So
Got it.
that's
That's
but
fine.
I
Well,
figure we can say
but
that.
this time we can let you point out like more of when the advantages are. Like, I'm actually going to sort of let you take the lead here because I feel like we've talked through this, and I want you to tell
Okay.
me what you should do different or when we should push.
Sounds good. Do you wanna like prompt with a question or
Sure. Sure.
like what could you have done here? Sort of. Yeah. So that way I'm not interrupting.
I mean, I'm not too worried. Okay, so is your team ready if you push right now?
They should be. Well, no, because I charged at a point, so probably another 2 seconds.
Yeah.
No?
So maybe
Okay.
maybe McCree's like a second behind where we'd like him to be, but your team's pretty ready if you pushed right now. This would not be the end of the world. That said, something just happened that's important. What's on my screen that's important that happened?
Projected bubble got wasted,
Yep, projected
or
bubble
not
got
wasted, but
spent on
used.
Anna, so you've got very little desire to push right now because you won't have a
Okay.
bubble. They should have a bubble. That's not going to work very well for you. Perfect. Okay.
Need healing.
So probably a case of your mental cadence just being a touch off here. Oh no, he was just slow on it. Okay, so this is fine to go out for the trade here. The truth is, your Zarya probably has enough energy that pushing right now, like actual for real pushing, wouldn't be the end of the world. So what are the pluses and minuses to pushing right now?
One of the first minus I see is that Kree isn't really in a position to push just yet. I mean, he
He's
will be
not
very
he's not going to
soon.
get closer than this is the issue. Like, he's not going
Okay.
to hover like right here for you or right here for
Sure,
you.
sure, sure.
So
Okay, that makes sense.
this is as good as it's going to get for Kree. We could talk about Sombra if we want, but this is as good as it gets for Kree.
Okay, so the way you say that makes me think that maybe one of the minuses is that Sombra isn't in position yet.
True, Sombra's not ready quite yet. That's true. That's not the only factor in play though. We might choose to do it anyways. Why might we choose to do it anyways?
Because they've used their bubbles.
Their bubbles aren't very off cycle from ours. Like they're using one
That's
right
fair.
now and the other's about to come back up, but like
Mhm.
okay, we could push in like a second, I suppose would be an answer to that, right? Because like hey, he's got his
Yeah.
bubble, he might not get value from it. Like if you back hard, he's probably not going to get any swing value from this bubble, and then you could push with bubble advantage. So that's an option.
Hmm. Well, then I think I'm missing something obvious then,
No,
because
you're
that's
fine.
what's jumping out at me.
Those
Oh,
are the
okay, okay.
things that should mostly be on your mind. Like, hey, where's my Sombra and what do the bubble differentials look like? Your health is relevant
Okay.
right now and your health is a little low. So this is probably a you sort of pushed an instant too early type thing. Like we're looking at this and it's like, hey, if you'd pushed, oh, that's loud and obnoxious. If you'd pushed like a second later, this is probably
Hmm.
reasonably good push. Right now, it's not terrible or anything, but that's how we'd upgrade it.
Yeah, I think I did want to back off that because the Rhine had the bubble, and
Sure.
then I got the bubble when I was a little far back, so I think I just tripped up my Zarya a bit because
Yep.
she was thinking, "Oh, we're pushing," and I just sort of messed her
Yeah,
up.
and you've sort of got to track her bubble timing in your head because you.
When that happened, I immediately thought of the VOD reviews that you've done where you've said, "Yeah, you've got to sort of count down," and I was like, oh, I gotta start counting down for my
There you
Zarya
go.
because I just tripped her up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Why don't I like this?
Because our Lucio's down. This is a 5v6.
Right. I was totally fine with you going out here just to get some bubble trade energy, but like this has now turned real for you. Like you're still going, your bubble's over, and like we don't want this
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, I was feeling good about that bubble.
It's a nice
I think
bubble, but
Yeah, I debated my team because they thought I was pushing, and I was thinking, no, I'm just getting some bubble charge, and I'm getting some swings in on this Rhine while I bubble advantage, and then I'm gonna back out, and then I realized my team just thought that was real. I debated the absolute.
you
Oh
did
my god, I just debated so hard.
you did debate them pretty
And
hard. But here's why you debated them pretty hard. Let's go like this. This is what your team sees. Here you go. You go swing. That's one swing with the bubble. That's two swing with the bubbles. You're done. Oh, that's a third swing? I guess this is a real push. Like, that's kind of what's doing it. If you take more than two swings with a bubble, like, you're not bubble trading anymore, is kind of what's going on here.
and then I got distracted by the Pharah, and I
Yep.
got shattered completely.
Oh, that we don't care about.
Yeah.
The reason you were distractible is because you were so low health. You aren't really distractible by the Pharah if you're like, I have 400 health, she's not gonna take me.
Right.
Fine, back. That's a third swing. Careful with those. Yeah, so it's not terrible, but like what we look at here is again in this territory of here you are. You do your fire strike, you do your bubble swings, fine. There's not really anything more to get here. Like you already did your bubble swings. Anything else? Like this? You going for more swings here? You end up getting grabbed while going for more swings. Was there really much you could have gotten out of more swings here?
No, I wasn't threatening an elimination. I think I just saw that the Rhine was hacked, and I thought I wanted to put a little more pressure on him, but
Okay.
I guess that was the wrong call. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where it's like if he was lower health and you feel like you're threatening an elimination, you can potentially go for it, but I just didn't really feel like excuse me. I didn't really feel like there was a big enough opening here for you to justify. Like, this to me looks like we're cooldown cycling still, and you're like, hey, now we're not cooldown cycling. Like, you're doing more than cooldown cycling. You're going for more swings. And again, if you can threaten the elimination, sure, but that wasn't really it. So you really, in my mind, just gave them a chance to shoot at you. Which, to be fair, your team had the chance to shoot at their Rein too. The hack.
And how do you feel about the shatter when in the grab? Because okay, let's.
It's fine. I mean, you hit the 2. This would have meant they don't have enough follow-up. Like, you hit the 2, you then had time to shield, and you don't know exactly what's going on with the Pharah. Should you know what's going on with the Pharah? Yeah, perhaps, but, like, this isn't really bothering me. The shatter in the grab, I wouldn't go shattering every time you're in the grab, but hey, you found a shatter on the 2 tanks here while you're in the grab, which means that these guys now don't have enough follow-up without the Pharah hitting barrage to win on this. So, like, okay, cool,
Yeah, okay.
works for me.
Yeah, I didn't feel too bad about the shatter. It was just unlucky with the far
Yep.
ult. But I see what you're saying about the events leading up to it. Yeah.
Yep, no problem.
I'm under attack.
Fine.
I got so greedy. I was
You
just
really
not
did.
managing my health.
Like, you're sort of just going like, hey, let's put this in perspective. You're here. Let's go swing. You don't have a bubble. Let's go fire strike. Huh. Let's go swing some more. Okay, well that sort of works. Like, hey, we swing some more, but like, your healers have been working so hard to keep you alive here. You've just been on a bit of a swing tirade. You don't have a Zarya bubble anymore, and Winston wasn't ready to go in during any of these swings, was he?
No, I actually I do not think that I realized my Zarya swapped to Winston, which
Sure.
is clearly a failure of attentiveness on my part.
All
I
good.
saw the EMP and I just saw red.
Oh, now
know?
you swing.
It was just
Now
such a
you
dinner
swing
dog.
like wild. But you shouldn't have half health right now. You should have 80% health right now, right?
Right.
So, like, you have to swing. You're like, I gotta get these EMP targets. This is our moment. And your whole team is going to go aggressive now. And I don't even mind if you swing a little bit to create a distraction to help your Sombra get in here. But we're long past swinging a little bit. Like, if we go back through this, here we are. Maybe this was justified to pull attention to you, to pull attention to the right side of this doorway instead of the left so she could get through. But now you're sort of done. And we can just be done. Like, we don't have to do any more of this. We can be waiting on our Winston to get closer, so our Winston can either help us cleave these guys down or jump on the back line while we fight these guys. You know, something to separate. That's fine. This, you had 90% health. And now when the EMP goes off, you're at 50% health. Well, that sucks. Type thing. Again, like, our Winston wasn't ready for us. Our Sombra was still a couple seconds from being ready when we came in here. So, you know, it's only a second, but a second is unfortunately a lot.
Yeah. I didn't feel that. Can I see this? Can I see the sequence from my Anna's point of view? Because I want to see like how much I'm LOSing her, etc., etc.
Oh, sure.
Step right. Rally to my
Okay.
position.
Unfortunate, but use it. Okay. So you do actually want to use this. So I don't like your Winston using his bubble like this, but sometimes they will. What does this bubble do?
It can block important cooldowns.
It can. So, like, if you were
Well,
Rein...
it anchors, it leashes the Winston there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not really what I'm focused on right now. What this does
Oh, okay.
really is it creates a situation where you aren't going to get like slept or nated through this bubble, right? Like their Anna can't really
Yeah.
hurt you, a hog can't really hurt you. Like they can break the bubble, but this is sort of like when an Orisa throws a shield in front of you and you go, "Oh sweet," and you go up and you sort of swing using the shield to protect you from the opponent's backline. Or when a Sigma throws their shield up there and you're like, "Oh, I don't have to shield. I can just swing because the shield is in front of me." It's not protecting you from the Reinhardt, though if the Reinhardt comes in, it'll block him like he is right now from getting heals. But I don't even care if you push him out because he's not weak enough for you to actually get an elimination like that right now. So what I'm looking at is this is a fair amount of protection for you. It's very temporary, but like you want to use this. You want to be like, I am swinging right now. I do not want to back right now. Like this is your you've been bubbled by Zarya moment. It's a little different in how it
Yeah.
functions. Go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't.
Yeah, okay.
You can go ahead. I
Okay,
didn't
that's
mean
fine.
to.
So I just want you to recognize this because like there's at least one more swing that you'd have gotten there on their Reinhardt. Now he might have been bubbled
Okay,
for
because I
it.
backed off.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say I backed off because the Rein got the bubble, and I figured I didn't want to give Zarya a charge.
Oh sure, no, you don't want to give Zarya a charge. I just didn't expect that you saw that in time. Like if we look at this. Oh yeah, okay, you did see that in time. That's fine. That's fine then. Good.
Yeah, I saw the bubble was breaking, and I saw Rein had the
Yep.
bubble, so I backed.
The bubble breaking doesn't really bother me because you're still going to have your 500 health behind it. Like, we don't want to get hit by it, but, like, the bubble doesn't last very long. We do want to try to get the value out of it, but that's fine.
Okay.
Down.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he just sort of MTV'd me there with the shadow block. I thought I could get a big
Well, I
one
mean,
off.
you say that, but, like, he blocked your shatter. You blocked his shatter. He has both bubbles going on right now. Like, this is him taking advantage of the power differential, right? Like, your Winston just used his bubble and you guys didn't really get value, so he's recognizing, my turn. You know, like, now I have Zarya bubbles to use.
Yeah.
And
Was
his team is recognizing.
Shatter yeah. Was that shatter a terrible decision? Because I thought I could get it off because he was so close, and I thought he was going to win a swing trade or something. His shield was low,
So
etc.
it's not necessarily a terrible decision, but here's my concern. Their Zarya has bubbles, and it's time for their Zarya to bubble their Reinhardt, right? Like their Reinhardt,
Okay.
their Zarya is aggressively looking to, as soon as she sees Reinhardt take a swing at someone in range. So like, I sort of look at this and go, I don't necessarily expect the Reinhardt to block it, though he could. That's certainly a possibility. I would be expecting that the Zarya bubble is going to come out. And Zarya might still get knocked down, but Rein's not going to get knocked down. He's going to be protected from the bubble that I just anticipate right now. And the reason I anticipate it right now is they understand the same principle you do. You're pushing while your team isn't like. The issue again here, unfortunately, becomes: is your Winston ready to commit? Is your Winston ready to jump in on something?
Right. Okay.
Not really.
No, for another
So like
4 seconds. Yeah.
your Winston's not really ready to do something. Again, you don't have any control over here, though you're not likely to get it. Your Sombra's maybe ready to do something, but I wouldn't usually expect that this is a place where Sombra's ready to threaten someone. I'd expect you get what I'm saying here. Like, you don't know where the soldier is, so you sort of look at that and go, Sombra's not ready to do anything. So like, I'm looking at this and going, you're pushing when your opponents are strong. You're pushing when your opponents are strong, and this shatter getting blocked by a bubble is kind of the expected outcome. So not your best.
Remaining.
And then they just overlook you.
The attempted charge was me thinking, A, he might charge, although that's unlikely, and B, I might just get wounded before I die.
He was also nanoed, and you're trying to contain it. I get it. Okay. Less cool with that, but it was reasonable. Okay, you're done. You're done. Okay. If you knew the nano was coming, so be it. You thought you could get more than you could here. Okay, so here we are. I don't know what the plan is here. I don't know if you know that Anna's called she's going to nano you. But around now, I'm
No.
probably done. Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm making progress on this Zarya, but I'm clearly not making progress on this Zarya fast enough for my health total, right?
Yeah, I heard the soldier visor go up, and I saw that our Lucio had died, and I
Hmm.
thought,
You just want to
I
trade
mean,
out and get
there's
ult.
12
Sure.
seconds
Sure,
left.
sure. No
Yeah, well,
problem.
there, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So not so much trade out for ult, but more of like I just got to make it happen. Okay, fine.
Ready for battle.
Okay, no sim TV, I hope.
Yeah, I was a little gun shy, because this was only a few games after my previous Hanamura one.
Okay.
One. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Right. Whoa, now. Okay, so this is good. I don't necessarily love this fire strike, but what does your team need you to do right now?
Well, we are up by 2.
Mm-hmm.
We have a full barrier. They have no barrier at all.
Right. You might not have the health
I'm-
to swing right now. Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm thinking I can put up my barrier and walk at
Yes,
them and
exactly.
have my Zarya zap them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I was
eight.
watching a Spilo video where he was talking about that.
Perfect, perfect. Like sometimes we
Yeah.
might talk about, hey, stabilize, make sure you don't lose, etc. But these guys are going to retreat, and we don't want them to retreat. We'd like to stagger them more, get some more ult charge out of them. So like you're just going to go, I'm missing health, but that's okay. Shield up and push type thing. You might not do this at like 1800, where there's just no belief that your team is going to follow. But this is like 2800 or so. Enough of your team is likely to follow you if you make this play.
And it's acceptable to sort of barrier for our team in this situation because we are not just spending barrier for very little gain, we're spending barrier for space,
Right.
staggers, etc.
Yes, good
Okay.
call out. You're not spending barrier to. You're actually spending barrier to take space. You're not spending barrier to try to hold your space here. You're spending your barrier to walk at these guys, which would put you in range to swing. You just don't expect to have the health to swing. You might get it healed back up as you're pushing up there with your barrier, which would be great. But yes, this would be a you're taking space type thing. Yes, your team is going to use your barrier as a firing platform. It's one of the rare situations where it still makes sense to do so. And, if it gets too bad, you'll just leave, whatever. But you have a full barrier. We absolutely want to push this. Good call.
I dropped the ball on that. I get nervous when my teammates are like peeking the choke like that, especially on this map, and especially if the other team has a hog or something like
Sure.
that. But is this a situation where like, oh, if team ints, or is it like, okay, I have to sort of try to shepherd my team back a little bit because you see the Zen just got picked, etc.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
I don't know if I need to care about that basically.
Well, this is a case of if team ends, but like you
Mhm.
sometimes will go out there and scoop up your Zarya or scoop someone up. Like if someone got hyper aggressive, got an elimination, or didn't get an elimination, you might go out there and scoop them up with your shield and back them out. But you know why your team was up here. Your team was up here because they wanted to push for the staggers earlier. They just took their sweet time getting out. But that's you just have to be like, well, okay. Again, you're not going to stand out here and go, oh, please let me shield until Zen leaves, because Zen's going to be like, oh, cool, I have a shield now, and keep shooting. Like,
Yeah. It's like when you try to get your dog to drop something and you think you're playing.
he's like, oh, we're playing tug of war now? Awesome.
Exactly, yeah. That was me going, wait a minute, we don't have a Junkrat, that's not our track, let me not walk into that.
Good plan. Okay, stop giving shield.
Let them up.
Well, that sucks. I would like
think
a
I might
window
have been using
refund.
my barrier. Yeah. I think I was using my barrier there to check around the corner, but I don't remember.
Okay.
'Cause I wanted to see, are they hard backing off this window, or can I don't remember exactly.
That was pretty aggressive. So, like, again, you just like this extra swing a little. So here we are. I'm good with it. Oh, nice juicy cleave. Great cleave. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going for a third one. That's, like your bubble instantly got blown up. You only got one bubble swing out of there. You've been out here for, because you wanted to go for a shatter play. Interesting. Okay. Okay. That was a little on the greedy side, but you hit the shatter. I just don't know that you're going to have any follow-up. Oof. Good thing you got, wow. Okay. All's well that ends well, I guess is where we're ending this one.
Yeah, I saw red again.
You did. One more. Shield. Good. Strike. You're ready for their Rein to shatter. That was a less good fire strike. Okay, so
Yeah, I
here's a
would have got shattered.
not only that, but here's a situation where this is happening. You want to tuck, absolutely, but this is one of those situations where you put your shield up just for a moment because your teammates are gonna run for cover. But this is sort of like, do you play any D.Va?
Very occasionally, yeah.
Okay. Do you know when like D.Va's defense matrix does not last as long as High Noon or Visor does, but you somewhat consistently see D.Vas use their DM early into those things rather than like waiting for the middle or the end of them, right?
Right, because it gives your team time to scramble for cover.
Right. If your team has even reasonably good positions, they're only going to take a second or so to get to cover. So this is one of those situations where you're going to sort of pretend to be D.Va for a moment and go, shield up. And you might just hold your
I
shield
see.
up for a second. You can hold the shield up as you're closing the angle, but like, let's put the shield up type thing, and then just sort of walk to the right type thing. Because that'll be like, hey, I would like my Ashe to have this time, my Zarya to have this time to get to cover, even though I'm confident I can get to cover in time. Which, you could have also saved yourself a good 150 health. But hey.
Your audio cut out there for a second. The
Oh.
last thing I heard was time to get to cover.
Time to get to cover, as well as, maybe saving yourself a good 150 health there. Whoa. Okay. You there still, or did I lose you? I might have lost you.
I'm still not hearing anything. I don't know if you're talking or not. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see the problem. Give me just 1 second here.
No problem.
Let's go like that.